What is up, everyone? The Vibe Kage here to do one of the what ifs that I low key was gonna release like all the way back in November, but due to I'ma say an argument with myself on how our stories work out. And when I mean an argument with myself, I mean like the seven other aspects of my own fucked up psychosis that make up my mind that lets me perceive emotions all at once and perceive no emotions at the same time, which lets me be both apathetic and empathetic at the same time, which just causes an ordeal of, pain, you know, hella migraines on a daily. So let's just get on with this. What if Deku was in One Piece? Now, are we doing the isekai thing? Yeah. When does this die or when does this happen? Uh, no lie. This is gonna sound fucked up, like very fucked up. But we are going with Deku is roughly, 10 years old. Not 10, 14. So pretty a little bit before the start of the canon. Um, this is where things, change drastically with, one, Katsuki is a female, Deku's childhood crush. And yeah, they were always friends, and she did like Deku too, which is why this is why one of the stories that took me forever to, the beginning of the beginning that I will never get to again, because once Deku's in One Piece, there is no way for him to get back into the MHA world. I'm saying this now. In the moment you comment, "Oh, can he go back to the world?" I'm gonna just say, "Are you fucking stupid?" Because I've already covered it. The answer is no. Anyway, Deku, he's on the school rooftop when, he's just napping. This time he is ditching class because, he just doesn't feel like it. Let's just say today, Deku has almost fully given up on his, hero career. So he's just at the top of the school when, Katsuki, she bursts in, she's just like, "What the hell are you doing, you nerd? Why aren't you in class?" And, Deku's just like, "It doesn't matter." You know, she's kind of thrown off by this because, this isn't her normal punching bag. So, you know, she asks, "The fuck is wrong with you?" Deku's just like, "Why do you even act like you care?" Like, Deku, he sits up just looking at Katsuki, and, he goes ham on, like, the years of, like, the abuse that she puts him through. And the only thing he ever did was, be her friend. You know, he gets it, like, the fame of popularity and, you know, having to pick on the quirkless kid, so you don't get heat from it too. But, Deku, a tear falls down his eyes. He's just like, it was something else when it's your own childhood friend that's like stabbing you in the back. And then, when you go to talk to them, what do? Is just blow up in your face or blow up an explosion in your face. Katsuki, she's just like taken back by this. She's not expecting this. Deku, he's just on the railing of the school. He just walks over. Katsuki's not really paying attention until, she realizes Deku's on the other side of the railing when, she yells at him, "The fuck are you doing?" As, Deku just looks at her and he's just like, "I'm, doing this place a favor. Like how you've said, you know, what can a quirkless person do other than be a bother to, everyone else?" As Deku, it almost looks like all the life in his eyes has just, already faded out. Katsuki, she's just like, "Wait, no, don't, no." Because, Deku's just like, "Relax. You can, talk about how you tried to save me. And, I was just too, stubborn, and I still jumped. It doesn't matter, Katsuki. As he didn't say Kachan. No. She's just like, and Kachan. Indeku's just like laughs as he's just like, bye, Kachan. He just falls. As, she screams out as, Deku, he falls. And, you know, here's where the thing gets kind of weird. A portal opens right beneath Deku and then sends him to the back, to the top of the school as, Kurogiri walks out. As, he's looking at Izuku and telling him that his master said that, he's not allowed to do that. And, Deku, he's just like, your master? And this one, all for one, is Izuku's father. But, it's just like, this is the moment that he's been waiting for, for Deku, alright, he's done being a hero. I'm gonna groom him to kill All Might. I'm gonna give him my power so he can kill All Might. He can even steal one for all. I don't even care. This is my son. This is just too much, As, Katsuki, she just shoots an explosion. And, Kurogiri, he's just like, nice try. Won't work. As, she's saying, well, yeah. Well, she does one of those concentrated blasts. And, shoots it forward. The AP shot, thinking, haha, I got you now. Because in this one, I'm going to just say female Katsuki's more tricky. And, because, her body isn't as physically strong as a male body would be. Not to be sexist, I'm just using biology in this. But no, she's just thinking technique-wise, what can she do to, make up for it? So, she tries the AP shot, which, Kurogiri opens a portal, eats it, She's just like, what? As, a portal behind her opens, the AP shot shoots out, and Deku, he can't. He's just like, no! He pushes her out the way and gets it straight through the chest, nicking one of his lungs. Kurogiri's just like, no! So, he has to retreat because, the explosions teacher come in. Kurogiri has to fade out of the world. So, this just annoys All for One, and yeah. On that sour note. But no, Deku, he's coughing up blood because one of his lungs just got incinerated. As, Katsuki, she's just looking at him saying she's sorry. She didn't mean it. It's not like she wouldn't. Deku's just like, stop pretending you care. I don't know why I even moved. I wanted you to get hit. I wanted you to feel what I felt. But I moved. I wasn't thinking. My body just couldn't stand it. As much as I wish I could. I can't bring myself to actually hurt you. Damn it. As, Izuku's just like shutting his eyes. Katsuki, she's screaming, no, no. As, when Deku, he opens them, it's like there's a splash of, seawater in his face, and, he pants. He's looking around him. He's confused on where he's at, As, this nice little octopus man grabs Deku and saying, how are you, sir? Are you okay? Deku's just like, where am I? Since, quirked humans have sometimes fish properties, he's not too scared of this, octopus man with a bandage on his head for some reason. Deku, he just barely remembers anything that happened in his life, He's kind of confused, and, yeah. Now, keep in mind, this man then would show, Olong, Jinbei, there's a human, this is shortly the same night where, Arlong would do his breaking off of the sun thing, so, yeah. And I'm aging up the people where I'm making this event a little bit more, you know, future on, later on in life. So, it was toxic, but Jinbei and the Sun Pirates stayed for an extra few years until, you know, Nami would be 14 at this time. And yeah, this is when our One Piece story starts going. Every Nami's 14, Luffy would be 14. Everyone's still kind of their same respective age. So, it's the time frame that Deku enters. I'm changing it. So this, Deku showing up is what causes, the pirates to split up because Arlong's saying, no, not again. Because of that one human girl, brother Tiger died, and they can't do that again. So, Jinbei's just saying, then leave, you bitch. They do their fight. Deku feels bad to Jim, like he apologizes to Jinbei for causing the rift. Jinbei saying it's not his fault. And one of the key differences is, Jinbei is the only one with Izuku. The other ones, they didn't went with Arlong. They just went back to, Fishman Island. Because, they had their fill of humans right now, and, Jinbei, no offense, but, if you bring that thing, we ain't on good terms. Jinbei saying, fuck y'all. Y'all not respecting what the brother did. As yeah. Now, Jinbei, he bonds with Izuku, and now we do our little time skip, and everything that happens in the canon still happens. Luffy joins with Zoro, Zoro, then they get Nami, then they get Usopp, then, Sanji and Nami dips out to go to her thing, and then they all go together after reclaiming Nami, beating Arlong, and all the other good shit. And, Deku the entire time had trained under Jinbei, who, Jinbei had felt a, very good connection with Izuku. He found it refreshing to, have a child who didn't really care about what you look like. And, of course, to Jinbei's surprise, Deku saying, he doesn't really know what blue sees from. Jinbei's just like, east. Probably east, because he's weaker than most. No offense, Deku, but yeah, Jinbei would spend these next couple months training Deku, and, Jinbei still does the warlord thing. He still has his crew eventually. They all get along with Deku. Deku has mastered observation and armament haki, and Jinbei is very proud of him. He doesn't use fishman karate because, not a fishman, but Deku's fighting style is, an homage to fishman karate. It is still hand-to-hand basics and, some decent moves, and Deku actually has a rare form of observation haki that, once everyone saw him in the Fishman Kingdom, they stopped hating him. Because the one thing that surprised everyone, Deku actually had observation haki on par with the Queen when she was still alive. So, her ability to sense other people's emotions and what they're feeling, not just what they're gonna do, but the actual emotions. Yeah, Deku could see it. He could feel it. Whatever they would feel, even if, he's not watching them or they're trying to hide their emotions, Deku knew, and, that's where our story has a critical change. This one event, causes, Neptune and, the royal family to take Izuku. They also want to train him up a bit. Deku respects and admires, the fishmen and all their things. He made friends with Shirahoshi, and, Deku likes Shirahoshi a lot more than, I don't know who y'all are. I'm not trying to be a dick, though. Anyway, Nani! Anyway, Izuku just crashed the party, I guess, on Discord. I'm going to have to, take a quick pause. I'm back, and, things good. Anyway, Deku, everything goes pretty much as normal. They travel the seas together. They meet Laboon. And, Poor Laboon. All that shit still happens. So, this is where things change because, Jinbei, he's heard the rumors that it's Crocodile behind the fall of Alabaster. And, he would want to go, but, he's, with the royal family, and then, the government sends him all over. So Izuku's saying he'll do it for Jinbei. Jinbei saying, "Are you sure?" And Deku's saying, "I know he's not the level of, a warlord like Crocodile, but he smiles, saying he does know Crocodile's weakness to water, and then, he coats his arm with hockey, and he's saying, plus he also has hockey, so he's not too worried, and he promises, he won't fight Crocodile unless, Jinbei gives him the green light. Jinbei regretfully says, okay, go. This entire time, Jinbei and Izuku had a master-student relationship. Izuku is not categorized as a pirate by the world government. There's no bounty on him, nothing. Even Jinbei stated, you dare, mark my student as a pirate, we finna have issues. Like a motherfucker. But no, things still happen. They go to Whiskey Peak, and the key difference here is there is another person who shows up on a whale. This is when Izuku shows up, he lands, he has a bag, he meets the Straw Hats. And, Luffy, he meets Izuku, he's like, I like ya, all that good shit. Sanji's kind of, why do you have to add a girl? Why can't we get another girl? So like, one chick here, it's too many sausages. Sanji being angry. Zoro, he sees Izuku's green hair and he just smiles, nodding. Sanji's just like, okay, Mosshead, you have another green freak. Usopp and Choppa, they talk to Izuku, they have their little fun moments. Vivi, no, not Vivi, not yet. What? Yeah, not yet. They still haven't even met Chopper, technically, because it's still Whiskey Peak, and then as they're going through, that. So yeah, no Chopper just yet. My bad. I forgot about that. Damn. See, this is what I mean. I had been so distant in changing these stories that I forgot which scenario is which. But no, I'm back on it. Now, Izuku, he introduces himself to the Straw Hats. They're all agreeing. They're entering Whiskey Peak and all that good noise. When they try and get Deku to drink, and yes, now he is significantly older. He's 18. But he refuses. He's not drinking. Rather, he eats with them. He's surprised at how much, Luffy is eating. Zoro's drinking. Nami's drinking a lot. All this good noise. Girls try and flirt with Izuku. But Izuku, just like, no thanks. Y'all give up the oppression of whores. Deku's not trying to be a dick, but, he's very blunt. His personality is there and not there from our original, peace-loving, hero-worshipping Deku. This Deku, well, intellectual, he's more of a, I don't like discrimination type shit. Similar to how Luffy is, because, okay, yet again, when he goes into One Piece world, he's in a world where people have powers where he doesn't, meaning the fisherman people, but, he worked hard, he got their admiration, their respects. Deku also finds out, they're also hated on by other people just because of how they look, and Deku's on like, this is bullshit, and I shall beat the shit out of people for this. Making a stand, being one of the few humans to be a, visual representation that fishmen and humans can get along. So now, he doesn't talk about, his teacher and all that noise. They just continue on, it's the nighttime. Deku, he knew something was wrong because, the 100 people. So, this is when Zoro says, he's about to, cut everyone up. And this is also when Izuku kicks down the door and he cracks his neck. They're all like looking at him like, what? Zoro looks down. They meet eye contact. Izuku's saying, so you sensed something wrong too. Zoro just smiles because he's just like, huh, I guess this guy isn't too bad. He's not calling him a brat, but yeah. 20 minutes, that's fine. Anyway, the fight changes drastically now, since Zoro is no longer fighting, Whiskey Peak by himself. Granted, Zoro never really needed the help, so yeah, it's just like the fodder get foddered easier. The fodder get folded faster. Fodder get folded faster. Fodder get folded faster. Fodder get folded faster. Fodder get folded. Nope. I think I only got it to 4 times. If you can say the fodder got folded faster 7 times faster than I can, Godspeed, because that shit is a tongue twister. And we're going back into this. So, this is when, Zoro and Izuku, they're smiling at each other's handiwork. Deku was able to, tell Zoro the attacks, and so he doesn't even get grazed by, I think it was Miss Sunday? No. The superhuman muscle freak woman that I forgot her name on. She's also fodder. That's why I forgot. So no! She tries to do that superhuman punch, and the key difference is she tried to do it to Deku, and Deku, he just coated his hand in hockey, breaks the knuckles, breaks her hand, and then his arm, whoosh, armament hockey up, so, palm strike. But this palm strike was, not as the heaviest blow as it could have been. Rather than, he gathered, his hockey, had an extra amount in his palm, and, it let it flow. Similar to how they are, now in Wano with the rear row. As, yeah, this attack surprises Zoro, because Zoro can't see or sense hockey. I'm gonna watch that later. As, he just felt Izuku sense some sort of pressure through her body, and, Miss Mary, the woman just spits up blood and falls unconscious. This is Luffy waking up and all this good noise. He's saying, Zoro, how dare you? He also points to Izuku, and he blames Izuku for crossing over Zoro. Luffy, not having it, still tries to fight them. However, Izuku, having haki, can easily, dodge all of Luffy's attacks. Zoro is baffled. Luffy is shooketh. They're like, what the fuck? Nami is even starting to peek out and see, Luffy can't hit this kid. Kid is, not the actual term, but, what I mean. Yeah, every single punch and Gatling that he's trying to do, Luffy's can't hit him. Deku, annoyed by this, he's saying, enough! He grabs Luffy's stretched out fist, yanks him forward, yet again, coating his arm, but this time, he's really, really, annoyed with Luffy's bullshit and being too stubborn to listen. So, Luffy is thinking, I'm made out of rubber, this isn't going to, BAM! Fist on cheek, jaw cracks, teeth get, spat out. Luffy's face plummets into the ground with a huge crater just behind it as Zoro and Nami stand there speechless. Luffy, not fully out cold, but damn near passed out, as just his grandpa. He's thinking the only person who's been able to do that was his grandpa. So he's confused on how this kid was able to do it. Yet again, kid being not what I mean, but what I mean. Because to Luffy, he's just he's never met him before. This is a new guy. Despite Luffy being in the same boat. Damn that pirate joke. Anyway, Izuku, he's pretty much, panting. This is when, our 2 devil fruit users from Buttocks Lick, they try to do shit. Izuku's just saying, fuck all this. Arms double coated. They're realizing that kid has haki. As, he rushes forward. The weightless girl's thinking she can jump up, but the moment she's up in the air, Zoro just slashes her down. The bomb guy's just like, damn it. He does not pay attention to Izuku, which, fatal flaw. So Izuku lands a thunderous knee right into this man's spine. Not crippling him, but, kind of ending the fight right then and there for this man's spine. It wasn't as bad as, Cell and Vegeta, but you know where I'm going with this. Just that one was like his soul left his body from that one point. He falls down. This is when, they decide, fuck it, we're hiring you to save Princess Vivi. Nami, Zoro, they're agreeing. And Nami said yes, And here's the difference, is Vivi thinks that Izuku is with them. So, when they say yes, and Vivi and them are leaving, and Izuku saying he's going on his own way, him and Luffy are in this weird, not speaking to each other terms. This is when Vivi says, wait, I thought you were with them. This is when the crew look at Luffy, and Luffy's just like, and they're like, Izuku's just laughing, saying he's not a pirate. He's not, he was trained by one, but, his trainer was one of the warlords, so this catches the attention of everyone. Sanji's the one who has to ask. Sanji and Usopp, oh yeah? Which warlord? Deku just scratches his face as, he says it was none other than the first son of the sea, Jinbei. A fishman. Nami turns pale white. Zoro and Usopp, Sanji, they all get ready for a brawl. Luffy sticks out his hand. They're all confused, and, Luffy asks him, so, are you with the fishmen? And Deku's just like, are you against them? They're confused, as, they have to go, fuck, my bad. As, Nami, she's saying, Luffy, wait, who's Jinbei? Her face is still pale, and Izuku, he can feel why it's so hostile. As, Izuku's saying they need to calm down. Their emotions, he gets it. They want to fight him, but if they continue to, bring this toxicity to him, he has no choice but to, fight him head on. And Izuku already states out he was able to, punch their captain, a devil fruit user. And judging by their reactions, they don't know how he did it. So, he knows that he has a special skill that they don't know, that it is completely idiotic for them not to have when they're entering, the pirate world. They're confused. Luffy's getting more pissed off, as, Nami yet again trying to be the cooler head. Vivi, she's trying not to side with Izuku, but, she saw how strong Izuku was. Zoro, right here, he's just saying, hold up. Because they fought together, and Zoro's saying, what was that then? Curious. Izuku states that, he has haki. Have they never really heard of it? They're all saying no. Vivi's saying that sounds familiar. And, Izuku, he doesn't want to, but, Nami, she's just like, the fishman that trained you, was he really, friends with Arlong? And Deku's saying he fucking hates Arlong, which, catches them by surprise. Nami instantly starts warming up to him and not judging him, so she gets closer to Deku, not in, a fucked up way, but, one of those, continue, what do you mean? Luffy and them all hear Deku's explanation, how, before Arlong left and all this, Nami, she tenses up her fist, and, she goes to hit Izuku. He catches it, of course, as, her fist is trembling, as, Izuku's just saying, what the? Everyone's kind of confused, but, Nami's crying, saying, so it was your fault then that, she's not trying to, but in her mind, she's thinking this is the reason why her mother had to die. And Izuku's saying, no, I didn't know about that. I didn't know he would do that. Whatever Arlong was doing had nothing to do with him. He didn't really, hate, it was Arlong who was being a dick. Jinbei and him were the ones who were, trying to prove that fishmen and humans can get along. There's no reason why. The only reason why humans were hating fishmen and, discriminating against them, enslaving them, beating them, treating them less than a person, because, Izuku's just thinking they have a heartbeat, they're human, even if they're a different species. And that's kind of how Deku's mindset is, or at least they're a being that, deserve, rights. So, Deku, he's pretty much standing off against the Straw Hats. Vivi is just like, wait, isn't he one of the warlords? As Izuku nods and he's saying, yeah, why? This is when Vivi stands and she's saying, so, the government is here to, stop us? Deku's confused. He's saying, wait, why? So, Vivi then states, she's been working in this barracks work and, it was none other than Crocodile. Izuku's eyes widen as, he's saying, are you 100% sure? As, she's saying, yeah. She's pissed and Deku's saying, do you have any photos? Anything, any evidence? As, she's just like, why? As, he's saying his, teacher is a warlord for the government. The reason why he came here in the first place was to get evidence because the rumor is that it's Crocodile. But, Jinbei doesn't have any evidence to, bring Crocodile down. They ask him, why does Jinbei want to bring down another warlord? And it's just like, Jinbei doesn't like how, Crocodile is trying to run a kingdom. They respect and admire more King Neptune, and, yeah. This also, changes the tune of Sanji, as, he starts asking, what about, like, the fishermen? And he's saying, it's fishermen and mermaids. Usopp, his eyes widen. Sanji's just like, mermaids, you say? Trying to, like, get Izuku to, like, open the secret, open the gate, like, open the portal, let us go, And Deku's just like, wait a minute, it's not as simple as you might think, all this good shit. And, yeah, Izuku has to, explain, yeah, there are, like, mermen and mermaids, fishmen and fishwomen down in, like, Fishman Island, and that's where he came from. The bottom of the sea, like, he was scared when Jinbei first took him down there, but, after enough trips, and, he actually really likes Sabaody, which, they're confused. Sabaody? Deku legit face palms, and he's just saying, do you guys not know anything? This is when Nami decides to, use her womanly charms, as, she decides to, place a hand on Deku's chest, and she's being seductive and cutesy and saying, well, why don't you teach us? Or maybe you can just teach me. Deku, he gets a little bit red because, the guys are mad. Sanji's about to, like, blow up, about to, like, try and stomp Izuku's face, but get his leg broken in the process. But, no. Cooler heads prevail with, Nami. She's just saying, like, so, what do you, like, fight for? What is your goal as a pirate? Deku's saying. He's not a pirate. His teacher didn't want him to be a pirate. That's why he's not an official pirate member of his crew. Deku's more of a, a Ronin, if you will, right now. A soldier of one. An army of one. The lone soldier. Just traveling by himself. He would do this mission by himself to prove, he is worthy to be on a pirate crew. Which, Nami's looking at Luffy and saying, yo, do your thing. As, Vivi also realizing that move that supposedly took out the rubber guy, a devil fruit user, Vivi then also, like, jumps on Izuku's other arm and saying, teach me. And Izuku's just like, what? Whatever you did to, hurt a devil fruit user. I thought that's supposed to be impossible. And Deku's just like, Zoro even steps up and saying, is it possible for a swordsman to learn it? Deku's just like, yeah, why? So, Zoro's saying, then that is what I need. Luffy's confused on, like, what's going on. Usopp saying, hey, you sent people, right? This also means, like, if a sniper, were to, Deku's saying theoretically, yes. More crew members as Luffy is just silent and Sanji's more pissed off saying, there's no way we can trust him. As Luffy says, do you want, like, who do you think is going to be the Pirate King? And Izuku just scratches his head as he doesn't really know. You know, he's read about the pirates, like the big Yonko, and all them, and, Whitebeard is probably his closest to favorite because, Whitebeard helps protect Fishman Island, and then also there was this, crew member that, got really along with Izuku, saying that, it felt like it was his older brother, but he would always just talk about his other brother, a monkey kid. Not Izuku, but Luffy's eyes widen. What was his name? Izuku just saying, why? Izuku's saying because he has a brother. Not Izuku, but Luffy's saying he has an older brother. And Deku's just like, why does that matter? Luffy's saying because his older brother would try and fight, Whitebeard. And, there was one time he read, like, a paper that, his brother ended up joining Whitebeard's crew and being one of their commander division leaders. And, Izuku tilts his head as he's just saying Luffy. Right? In Luffy nods. D? He nods. And, so Luffy's saying, and the guy's name also had a D. He nods. As, Luffy's saying, on the count of 3, say his name. And Luffy will say his brother's name. 1, 2, 3. Ace! Eyes widen, as, Luffy starts, like, grabbing Izuku and saying, does Ace know how to do that? As, Deku has to say, kinda, yeah. Like, he has Conquerors. Conquerors is the only one I don't have. But the other two, he's shown it. Luffy's saying, and, can anyone learn this? Deku's just saying, pretty much. Luffy's saying, well, that settles it. You're joining my crew. Huh? Nami cheers, Vivi cheers. Zoro, he smiles. Usopp's just saying, like, whew. This is going to be fun. Someone who can see people for me. I can hide more. As, they're continuing on their journey. And Izuku's really confused because, he never said yes. And only now does he realize, that the pirate ship actually start leaving a few minutes ago, so he can't get off. And, yeah. Now, during this time frame, Izuku would consider this, in a sense, kidnapping, but it wasn't until, Vivi says her goals, and, Deku, after consideration, he's just saying he'll teach him what he can for right now, what their skills could be, and as time progressed, while they go to, Crocodile, Izuku, he'll help, as, Luffy said one key thing. You went by yourself, to prove that you can do a pirate thing, right? Well, we're a pirate crew. Why don't you just test the waters at first? Luffy's being somewhat big brain that surprises everyone. Izuku just, like, saying, but that would mean answering to you as my captain, right? So, he's thinking, like, his teacher, Jinbei. As, Luffy's saying, well, right now, let's just work together. Be friends. He doesn't have to join his crew, but right now they all have a similar goal. And that is to take down Crocodile. Now, Izuku, he's, I guess you could say, reluctant, but, this is when a special somebody shows up on their, boat. They're confused as, it's Nico Robin. They're confused on how she got there, but Izuku, the moment she landed, he looked towards it, and that's when everyone looked, and that's when, Nico Robin walks out, and she's saying, "Aw, could you sense me?" And Izuku's just like, yeah. Because, she's saying, I don't have information on you. Who are you? Izuku's saying that he's nobody. She looks at Luffy, takes his hat, halfway when she's about to put it on is when, the hat disappears and Izuku has it. He's at the corner of the railing as, Nico Robin just smiles and saying, "Oh, you're good." As, Izuku, he tosses the hat towards Luffy and Luffy grabs the hat. He's saying, "Thanks!" This makes him like Deku more because they didn't really see him move. Izuku's saying it's one of those, special techniques. Hockey is in a sense one's willpower, sensing it. So what happens when someone completely erases it? Saying that this is his special stealth move. A way to erase his presence from everyone around him to the point where even if they look at him, their brain ignores it. Kind of confusing, I know, but bullshit is bullshit. And, Sanji's thinking, I can use this to peep on naked girls. Shit like that. As, Izuku, he just sits on the railing and he's saying, "So why are you here? I don't sense anything, like, malicious coming from you. I don't sense any bad intentions. Just a curiosity." Nico Robin smiles again and she's just saying, "So you have observation Aki too." Deku's saying, "Yeah, it pretty much gave him the added benefit of, being an empath, being able to sense people's emotions and their intentions." Nico Robin, she holds out one of those master dot, like, what were they? Wolf, like one of those key compasses. I forgot there was an actual name for it. The one that points straight to Alabasta. And, Luffy's saying that they don't need it. They're gonna get there on their own way. Izuku looks at Luffy, thinking he's a goddamn idiot, but the resolve in Luffy's eyes, Izuku realizes it's not that Luffy's, like, saying, fuck you. Well, not just that, and he's an idiot. Well, not just that, but he sees Luffy's willpower, his determination. Izuku, like, he just smiles and chuckles. So, he's telling her, looks like she got turned down, and, Nico Robin, she casually strolls towards Izuku. As, she's curious about him. She starts examining him more, and Izuku knows that she's not gonna hit him, at least. That's not her intention, but, her intentions are still, like, not coming in the clearest. Like, she's looking at me. And Deku gets kind of flustered by this. Nico Robin, she's just saying, my, as she's staring at his body and chest. Deku, he's wearing, like, a basic tank top right now. So, his muscles are still on display for them to see as, Nico Robin, she places a hand on his chest. And, she tries to convince, Izuku that if he joins Crocodile, Robin will make it worth his while. Izuku laughs and saying he's good, but, he makes a fist coated with hockey. As, Nico Robin puts her hand back. And then Deku's just saying, "Oh, no, I'd never hit you. At least, not like this." As, Sanji gets kind of pissed off by this, saying, like, "You're gonna hit a woman?" But, Nami was able to, like, hit him in the back of the head to calm him down. Saying, "She's the enemy." Shit like that. But no. Izuku just sticks out his fist and he tells, Nico Robin to tell Crocodile that the Straw Hats are coming for him, and that, soon the return of the rightful heir of, Princess Vivi Nefertari will be back, and, they gotta be careful. As Robin realizes, this kid has hockey. Oof. Alright, then, she leaves, things continue on. They go to that island with the two giants, and they cleave the thing. Everything's still going as normal, with the bombs and all this shit. And, well, one of our special differences is that, as the two giants are about to, cleave the giant fish, Izuku was able to, pretty much during that time give them the basics of, all the things that they needed to do. Mr. 3 and that one painting girl, they still show up, but they still kind of get their shit slapped. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, the guys don't have enough hockey training to use hockey efficiently, so, things would still kind of go as normal. You know, Sanji's still getting the compass that sends them to the next island and shit like that. All that other shit would still go. They appear, and Nami, she gets stung by the beetle and gets sick like normal. So yeah, she would, they'd still go to Drum Island. With, some of the key differences here is that Izuku would be one of the few people, you know, helping Nami. Bandaging, watching over her, using a test run on something he doesn't know that it would work, but something he would try. So, he would run his hockey through Nami's body, you know, forcing his will over her body. Not in a sexual way, guys. Not at all. No. But no. His will would pretty much be, slowing down the toxins. That's all he could think of. So, bring down her fever, make her, simulate her cells to heal and repair itself more. Having Nami's body fight an infection that should not be fightable. Which, Izuku doesn't really know why he was so insistent on saving Nami, but he was, so yeah. Anyway, they get to Drum Island and things still happen with Walpool. The only difference is Luffy, when he hits Walpool, his arm did turn black, showing a sign of hockey. Luffy noticed this, and so did Izuku. They're all starting to realize, yo, we're getting stronger. Izuku's just happy, but also kind of conflicted, because it took him years to learn how to code his fist, and Luffy's doing this with, way too easily. And if I'm making Luffy seem broken, kinda, but also, I'm making it where Izuku's connection to their emotions is how it's, focusing. Luffy's desire, to protect his ship, to protect his crewmates, to help, Vivi, all this good shit. His desire to get stronger, to learn this, his focus, he is trying to prevent something that, he doesn't want to even imagine. That's all. It's a strained concentration on his mind. Not that he's dumb, but he's dumb. But it's one of those, simple conditions that, I need this because they all need me, and I refuse to lose even once. Which, that's a key thing with Luffy's hockey in this one. It's like his dire determination to not lose to anyone and use this technique. He wants to surpass everyone. He wants to be the Pirate King. Shit like that. And, Luffy and Zoro have already shown, small walks towards, armament hockey. Nami, Sanji, and Usopp have all shown, some slight signs of observation, but not armament. So, that is a very good question, but which time? So it turns out my friend just couldn't remember the name of Bluebird, which it's fair if he didn't remember. There's a lot of fucking anime intros that are fucking bangers, and that's one of them. So him not being able to remember the name, but he recognized it, he just couldn't tell from where. I had to remind him, oh, it's Bluebird from Naruto! And he's just like, fuck, no wonder! It was such a goddamn great song. But no, the homie, he got the song that he needed, and, we continuing on with the what if with, Deku landing with them at, Drum Island. They meet the people as normal, with the key difference is Vivi is going with Izuku to the mountain areas. Now, why Vivi and not Luffy and them? Due to the fact that, Izuku can use observation hockey and was able to, shorten the time span of it. Vivi was she wanted to go because, she wants to be useful, and she's thinking if she can, learn anything from the medicine person, then she can have more use. And, the guys just stay there. They talk with Dalton. They're learning all about it. Dalton is surprised that, Luffy was able to punch Whirlpools very hard, respecting him. Luffy saying that, that newest crewmate of his is teaching him something called hockey. And thanks to that, they're able to get stronger. Zoro, he's doing his same training in the frozen tundra. But, one of the key things is, while he's in the cold water and, he gets lost, so, he starts shivering. He's just thinking, damn it, he takes a deep breath in, starts calming himself down, and, his eyes are shut, but, he's, like, starting to feel every little snowflake fall. Sense, the wild, giant rabbits that I would love to have as a pet bunny. This, like, 8-foot rabbit gorillas, which, awesome! He's just able to sense them all. He's able to, feel out his way. The entire time, Zoro is walking, barefoot, chest open, just pants, taking deep, calming breaths, but to the surprise of everyone is, he makes it to, the town where, those guys of Warpole's army, they're still trying to do their shit. Luffy, they help bring this guy down. They're asking Zoro what the fuck happened. Zoro's saying, he made a breakthrough with that other one. They look at him like, what other one? That observation one. And they're confused, like, wait, what? Zoro just smiles and he just says, ha, take that, you, like, lousy cook. He has 2 of them, like, getting ready, and it'll be in no time before he's, like, even, like, the better than their teacher. Sanji takes this as, some bullshit fighting words, and he continues to train off in his own thing, too, trying to get his, power up to a decent level, but, doesn't really work. Sanji still doesn't do much in this one, but rather than him getting hurt, it was just like he was just down there. Eventually it does come to, Luffy and Dalton going up to visit, the other people. Luffy's concerned, it's been a while since, they've seen Nami, Izuku, and Vivi, so they're going. Sanji, he's saying, he'll go too. Luffy's saying, no, you stay and protect the village. Zoro, don't get lost. Usopp, make sure Zoro doesn't get lost. Protect the Mary, protect the village. We be right back. So, Dalton goes into his, what was it? Yeah, he was also a ox, so, he's running up, taking his Luffy up through the ropes to make it faster. That's the same way that Izuku ran up. He's just like, got it, climbed him and just ran up the mountain ropes. Kind of cool, like a badass, but yeah. So, they're going to Dr. Kure's office with Choppa. One of the key differences, Nami not being as horrible. She was able to, like, thank them. And, Izuku, the entire time, he was kind of afflicted by the code because he did give his code to Vivi. He was making sure that both Vivi and Nami were warm. So, yeah, he pretty much, once he's there, he kind of collapses out of exhaustion. He used his haki to make a thin layer for his body to not be cold, but majority of the time he was pushing his haki onto Nami and Vivi's body without them realizing, give them that extra armor of protection from the elements. However, doing this was like giving Deku a, 5% thin t-shirt and then splashing with cold water and then telling him to run while it's like 50-degree winds. Yeah, no, this man, there was some cover, but it's not much. So yeah, no, well, Vivi, she never felt anything less than the temperature of, 60 degrees, so she was somewhat disadvantaged, but overall she felt nice. Which she was confused because, despite her face being exposed to the cold air, it wasn't hurting her. The cold air wasn't hurting her lungs as badly, which she was confused by, but nah. Izuku, he quickly collapsed, and, his haki was gone from Vivi and Nami, so, the two realized this, and Kure was surprised that it was, in a sense, the boy was sharing his own life force with these people, so they didn't get cold, and, they were able to survive. She admires this, and, Izuku is he just kind of put IVs in him, he's not too, crippled or damaged. It's just, his body's kind of fucked. But, you know, he's able to survive. Nami gets her treatment. Nami got, like, asked where were they, and, Kure stands the Dr. No, Kurina. Is it Dr. Kure? Dr. Kurina. Whatever. I was right. It was Dr. Kure. Kure? Kureha. Yeah. Kura. Dr. Kura? Saying it's gonna be fucking with me. Anyway, she interviews Nami, interrogates Nami about, how long they've been there. Which, this surprises her because she's saying that's not possible. Your thing was slowed down with medicine that don't really exist. She starts explaining that, they didn't have the cure where they were at, but they had the cure here. But what exactly was, they doing to treat her? Nami was confused because, as far as she knew, they just would change the water and all that noise, change her sheets, make sure she's, not running a fever. Oh, this is when Vivi says it was mostly Izuku who was watching over Nami. They were all kind of confused. Why? But because Izuku was able to, sense, how people are, he could tell, if Nami was getting worse, he would place his hand on her forehead. There'd be this weird green aura around his hand, and, Nami's fever would break for a minute, giving her some relief and letting her sleep. Kurina is, asking, Izuku, to wake up, and he's just like, okay. He's struggling, but he gets up. She asks him what exactly was he doing, and Deku seeing, he's just stating, without a better explanation, he explains his hockey, and he was just having his hockey go through Nami's body. Nami, she's just like, aw, like, I didn't know you cared so much about me. Izuku gets a little bit red. He blushes, as, he's just, I couldn't let my friend down, now could I? Nami's just like, you're so sweet. As, Vivi, she's just like, is it possible, for her to learn something like this too? Her eyes are like wide gleaming because, any technique that is not devil fruit, that is, potential for anyone to learn, she's thinking, yo, I want this. So, Izuku's just like, I think the one I'm looking for is the one after that. Huh. If that's the case, let me check. Alright then, no, I'm back. But no, Luffy, he shows up, Walpole shows up, and, Izuku, Nami, and Vivi, they're all inside, keep in mind. Izuku would call out to Chopper, telling him he doesn't have to be so scared. None of the three here want to hurt him. Chopper's confused on how he could tell, where he is and how he's feeling. Deku states his hockey. It's what lets him sense him. After a while, he found out he could sense other people's emotions. And, his armament hockey, it lets him, flow his energy into things and other people. Izuku, I guess, he's like, I guess one of the things that, he looks at Nami and then he blushes as he quickly looks away. As, he's just thinking he really willed his friend, he was willing his friend to be better. And, it sounds stupid and childlike, but it had some effects, didn't it? So, Kure is just nodding, saying it shouldn't be possible. Which, Nami, she's not as bad. So, when she gets up, she's not, totally, gonna fall, but she is stumbling. Izuku's just saying, Nami, wait, you can't get up. You're not supposed to be walking. He quickly rushes towards her. As, Nami has a hand on his shoulder, using him for leverage and standing. Kure is surprised at how quick Izuku was not only able to move, but, he's moving despite how much fatigue he was showing. This kid's resiliency is something else. This man durable as shit, apparently. As, Vivi also comes up and, she's saying, Izuku, you shouldn't be moving up much either. As, Izuku's saying, he's fine. He helps Nami down on her bed. And Nami's just saying, really, I got treated and I'll be fine. You just need a rest. As Izuku just collapses. He falls on the ground. as, you know, Nami was able to, grab onto his head before he face planted, at least, so she's grabbing him by the hair. Izuku's just like, you know, Nami just smiles and she giggles. So, Vivi's just like, he's stubborn. So, Nami's just saying it's okay. She's just saying they can share the bed for right now. You know, since they both just need sleep. This is a way, once Vivi, Chopper helps put Deku in the bed with Nami. Nami just cuddles up next to him. So, she's just smiling. She gives him a kiss on the cheek. As, she's just saying, thanks, Izuku, as, they just get rest. This is, of course, when the explosion, the cannon fire with Walpole and his bullshit happen outside. Nami and Vivi, they're terrified, but, Chopper and Kurei are just saying, it's fine, they're gonna go. They hear Walpole yelling and all this bullshit, and so, Luffy with the motherfucking right hook. And this time he punches, Walpole's servants who, told Walpole, move, sir. So, he does, but the guys didn't move, so they got hit. They're not out cold, but, they got hit. Luffy's saying, how dare he? This is when Dalton lands. So, Chopper, he also decides to, fight, as, Izuku's just, napping, as, Nami, she's, thinking she has to help, as, to her surprise, there was an actual arm around her waist, on her stomach, that kind of kept her down. As, she saw Izuku, as Izuku, he kind of adjusts himself to where, he unintentionally, because he's kind of asleep, so his body's autopilot, pulls Nami in, and, he's clutching her tightly, as, he's just holding her, as, there's a slight smile on his, face, now that he's holding Nami. Nami, she's blushing, and she's saying, are you even asleep? As, she feels kind of embarrassed, being held so close and so boldly. She waits, a whole last 2 minutes, seeing that Izuku's, not letting go. His grip is kind of tight, but, Vivi comes in saying, oh yeah, Luffy, Dalton, they're there fighting. And then the reindeer one, he's also fighting. So it looks like they'll be fine. Nami's just like, okay, as she decides maybe she shouldn't move. But, Vivi, once she sees how Izuku's holding Nami, Vivi's just like, oh. Nami's just like, don't, she's like, shush. Vivi, she just closes the door, and, she's just saying, it's fine, Luffy's got this. Nami's just saying, yeah, Luffy. So, she's staring at Izuku, sleeping. So, she's just like, it's so warm. So, unbeknownst to both of them, because Izuku's unconscious and Luffy don't know hockey that well, is, Izuku's actually radiating his hockey, towards, Nami. Due to, his natural wanting to protect her and keep her safe. His hockey is literally enveloping her, almost as if, he's putting a key blanket around her. Because, they stayed snuggled up. Nami does kind of fall back asleep. Walpole, he gets his shit slapped by, Luffy busting out one of the best moves with his come hard bullet. As, a hockey-infused fist wrecks Walpole. Walpole, didn't even get a chance to, eat himself. He just got knocked the fuck out by that hockey fist that sent him straight into the shores. Literally, man almost fell from the top of the island to straight up water. So, Luffy's just holding his hand, thinking, damn, that shit hurt. He probably hit too hard, but, blood drips from his knuckles as, he's thinking the amount of hockey, he has to learn how to regulate it better. So, yeah. He eventually does, get the crew. They all go. You know, they eventually go in to check Nami. Vivi, she's been talking to Chopper. Chopper, he's been opening up to her. Also understanding, Izuku, Nami, how the crew is. How Vivi thinks of them as they're kind of like a weird family. And it's just nice. You know, Luffy, once he meets Chopper, he rather than like, I'm gonna eat you, he's just like, oh, so cool. A reindeer that can, shapeshift and as a doctor, he's already asking Chopper to be on his crew. Chopper's like, no, no. Dr. Kura, she's just like, it's okay, you can go. What? She's just saying, she saw how, Chopper was curious on Izuku and Nami and Vivi. His three human bonds that he made before, you know, no, after, his beloved doctor. Doctor, why? Anyway, Izuku, they eventually come to the room where Nami and Izuku are. So, they open it, and Sanji's just like, Melody, my Nami-swa, I've made... He just sees, Izuku on his back, Nami on his chest, all cuddled up. They're both smiling. As, Sanji's just like, I'm going to murder him. So, this causes Izuku to open his eyes to see a devil-looking Sanji beyond pissed. As he's just like, huh? So, he then looks and he sees Nami on his chest and he's just like, huh? So, Nami, she wakes up and she's just like, what? As, she sees herself on Izuku's chest and, she's just saying, keep it down. Trying to, like, make them not do shit. She's kind of tired still. As, she just snuggles herself towards Izuku and brings him back down to, like, the bed so he can't get up. As, Nami's just like, so comfy. As you know, Sanji is about to stomp when Chopper hits him upside the head. And then, tranquilizes him and saying, there we go. That should calm him down. As, the crew's laughing. As, Izuku's just like, what happened? As, Chopper, he smiles at, Izuku saying, they're gonna be working on the same crew together. Izuku's kind of confused because, in his mind, he's never said he's fully joining Luffy. But then, Nami, her eyes open, just ever so slightly. As, Izuku looks down at her, he blushes a little bit as, his heart is beating really fast. As, Nami saying, like, looks at him. She's asks him, is he okay? His heart's beating really fast. She can hear it. And Izuku's just like, it's just like, Nami's just like, oh, right. I forgot to, say thank you. As Luffy's just like, huh? Not Luffy. Izuku's just like, huh? Nami gives him a, small kiss on the cheek, which, Izuku's just like, oh! Shut off, brain. Nami, she giggles as, she just cuddles next to Izuku, sleeping. The crew's just like, well then, that's an interesting set of events. Vivi, she's just like, why do I feel bothered by this? As, they eventually do leave. Nami feels 100%. Izuku's still kind of like, I don't know how to feel. He does like the crew. He's gotten more used to them. And of course, once Sanji cooled down with the whole, Nami sleeping thing, because, they explained, no, it was just that, Izuku passed out, the only bed that was closest to him where he was falling was Nami, and Nami wanted to share. Nami saying they didn't even do anything, so Sanji needs to chill his shit. Sanji's just like, I'm sorry, forgive me? Whatever. As Nami's just like, for 1,500 berry, yeah. Sanji's just like, here you go. You're no longer mad? No, you're good. But don't pick on him. Nami's just saying he's a valuable, like, team, like a crewmate. And, they're all learning from him. So it's not like it's he's against them. Sanji begrudgingly has to accept Izuku, until Izuku comes to it, and, he tells them that, he has to go somewhere, after this, and, he doesn't know how they would feel, but, yeah, they're confused on what that means, and, Izuku's saying that he really, really, really does not want to, state this, but, it is something that he has to do, is once, Alabaster's, done in Crocodile Falls, Izuku still has to go back to Jinbei. This changes the mood on, the crew. Chopper's just like, who's Jinbei? Izuku's just saying, to make it easy, he's my teacher, and he has his own pirate crew. Izuku just looks down, and he's just saying, the only reason why I came here in the first place was to prove that I could join him by, if I was able, to spy on, our enemy and get evidence, then he would let me in the crew, but, he's looking at everyone else. He's just like, but then I met Luffy and the Straw Hats, and, Izuku's just kind of conflicted. As, Luffy places his hat on Izuku's head, which kind of, Nami knows what this means, but, Luffy's just telling him that we're friends. And right now, if, he has to go, then he can go. It's a pretty big world, but considering, the kind of crew they have, they'll probably get into trouble sometime. Who knows? Maybe this time, Jinbei, when they send Izuku out to go take down another country, the Straw Hats will be in there. Izuku just starts laughing, kind of like a tear falls down his eye, as he's just saying, I don't think I can. They're all kind of confused and why, and saying like, he looks at, Luffy, and he's saying, I don't think I can just leave my captain just to go see my teacher. As Luffy smiles, and he tells him, to make it easier, they can just go all together. Izuku is just like, oh, shit. Yeah, huh? We can do that. As, he looks at the crew, and he's saying, one thing that they're definitely going to have to do when they get to it, of course, because, other side of the sea, they're not going to change their track right now, so they're going to continue on, but no. Izuku pretty much is, happy that, Luffy's saying all they got to do is, go to Fishman Island, right? Well, I mean, they're on a journey, and, Chopper just joined. Chopper, would you like to go see Fishman Island? Meet some mermaids? Usopp and Sanji are just like, yes! Mermaids! Zoro's just like, eh. Until Izuku's just saying, they have special swords made out of underwater coral. Zoro's just like, huh? They work really well with hockey. They're not meant to be used without it, actually. Zoro's just like, special sword, you say? And Luffy's just looking at Izuku smiling. Nami's just like, oh my god, really? As, Izuku's saying, as, he blushes, as, he scratches his cheek, and he's saying, oh, there's definitely some outfits that would be great for you, Nami. As, Nami's just like, oh. She's being flirty about it. She's saying, well, I don't mind modeling them for you if you buy them for me. As, she does that, stroking on his chest with a finger. So, Izuku's just like, yo, I gotta. As, Sanji's just like, Izuku whispers. No, he doesn't whisper. He just mouths, mermaids. Sanji's just like, find my happy place. Find my happy place. So, no. Yeah, now they're all aware of, much more key important things. And, yeah. And especially since they still would be going to Sabayoti. It's just, after some things happen. So, we're continuing on with, Alabasta. As, they land, they meet Ace, and, the key difference here is when Ace meets Luffy and Izuku, he was conflicted. They're like, why? Ace is just like, huh. It was like having two little brothers right before him again. Luffy knows that he's talking about Sabo, but Izuku's just confused, but, he just accepts the compliment. They all have more bonding moments. As, this time when Smoker does show up, trying to, stop Luffy and them, Luffy was able to do a solid blow to Smoker's, which, Smoker wasn't expecting Haki, but, that Haki punch did send him into a building, which let them escape rather than Ace having to stall them. Ace was just happy that, Luffy got Haki. He points to Izuku and, yeah. Ace is just like, so, does Jinbei know you're joining my little brother's crew? Izuku's just scratching his face and he's just like, I mean, when he first sent me here, it was a solo mission, and it kind of just spiraled out of control ever since I met your brother. As, Ace is just laughing, he's saying, yep, that's Luffy. As, he smiles at Izuku and saying, thank you for, helping him, by the way. As, Luffy's just like, now I can beat you, Ace. As Ace is just like, ho ho, you bold motherfucker, take this feast. As, the two size up each other. A simple punch to the chins to see who was the strongest, with, both of them knocking each other out, proving that they're equal. Sort of. Well, Luffy was able to land a hit with his Haki, and Ace, he's not too skilled at it due to him mostly using his Meta no Mi, thinking it's easier, but he does like using his Haki, so yeah. Anyway, as shit progressed, Choppa, he's starting to learn the basics of observation Haki too. Zoro is now able to, coat his sword and make it black, but it does take a good amount of concentration. As Sanji, he's gotten pretty efficient at just naturally sensing someone's aura, which, decent, but he's not at the point where he can predict someone's movements like Izuku can. Luffy at this point, he can pretty much 70% of the chance could always hit an armament-infused fist. And, Nami, she's picked up her observation Haki. And, Vivi, she's actually learning some. She's struggling more than the others, but, when she really focuses her mind, she can sense people within a certain range. And, her Haki, not the best. And, of course, this is the thing that Luffy don't like. And the only thing that helps him push his observation. And if you know this song, I fucking love you. Anyway, as Luffy being the only one with double fruits, the only way to make sure is their armament Haki is working is to hit Luffy with armament-coated sticks. So, everyone tries to hit Luffy, and Luffy has to be blindfolded to dodge every single attack. And that's how Luffy's observation Haki is more or less progressing. They're all having kind of the fun moment. It's like, yes, this is our moment to beat the captain. So, Luffy's just like, hey, wait a minute. Don't I get a stick? Nah, you just have to dodge. Alright then. I'm ready. Blindfold. Aw. Earplugs. Wait, what? I'll go like this prevents you from smelling us. Wait a minute. Shit like that. But no. Ace, Izuku, and them, they all have a grand time crossing the desert. The Kung Fu Dugons don't, beat the shit out of Usopp this time, because Usopp was able to dodge their hits. Never actually able to hurt them, he can dodge, but just barely. It's one of those, hui, hoo, ha! One of those, oh fuck, oh shit! He's doing one of those, weird dance moves, in the pose. Strike a pose, strike a pose, strike a pose. And those weird dancing moves. But nah, he barely is able to avoid the blows of the Kung Fu Dugons. only for, Luffy to just one-shot all of them. And Izuku's just like telling him, why? You know, eventually Izuku was able to converse with, the Kung Fu Dugons. Hey, hide our home, and we Gucci. You know, all that good noise. Ace still goes off on his own merry way to, go kill Blackbeard. And, he gives, he gives, Luffy the Viviri card as they leave. And, they're now heading to the final fight with Baraka's work versus the Mugiwaras. The Straw Hat crew. Now this is where some of our story will be changing, is our fights. Is, when Vivi is trying to go stop everyone from, the Civil War, and that alternate scene where it would be, Luffy going to punch Vivi, it's Izuku stopping her and saying that he will go with Vivi. The Straw Hats can go do their thing. Him and Vivi can go take care of this. And that's where our story will diverge. Now, this causes our lineups of fights to be relatively the same, but only for the Straw Hats to take a lot less damage due to, Usopp's observation being able to sense, the mole. I think she was Miss Merry Christmas, so, every time she would be about to pop up, he'd already shoot where she would show up. So the moment she shows up, boom! Exploding star in the face. The dog that would sneeze out cannon baseballs, never hits Usopp, or Chopper. Chopper was able to beat that Mr. 4 pretty easily. What surprises Chopper is that when he used his Rosario Palm, the Rosario Kuvin, I think, where he's in his pointu, he uses his clothes to, bash someone and leave Sakura imprints on their stomach. The difference is when he did this, he could have sworn that his hooves turned black just for that 1 second, because, he's thinking if he could do this, then he could make, Izuku proud, and he'd get praised, and, they might be able to get some sweets afterwards, and, that's what he wanted, and his desire causes his haki to, bubble over and, cause growth. Because Rayleigh would tell Luffy that, haki truly evolves in battle. So, yeah. Knowing that this is his one and only moment, that he has to hit this, conditions are met, and the haki blast works. And, Usopp not having armament haki, but his observation haki is third best on crew next to Nami. And Nami's observation haki is what prevents her from being, hurt a lot. And, it is a failed mission with Vivi and Izuku trying to stop them. And, they're still going, fuck it. We just have no choice but to go forward. Vivi, she cried at the death of her friends, but, Izuku was there comforting her and convincing her that they just have to kill Crocodile at this point. Vivi wipes her tears as, a dark resolve in her eyes, as, yeah, we do. Now, Izuku is just like, okay then. As, she would still try and use her peacock twirly blade things, where Izuku's just like, okay. He grabs Vivi by the hands, and he's starting to flow his, haki through her body, and he tells her to do, the exact same, but with her energy, and, push his back. This does take them a while, but, as they traverse the desert together, which is kind of strange, because Vivi, the entire time, her mind had to get past the fact that, she's holding hands with Izuku as they're traversing the desert together. The duck was kind of annoyed that, Izuku's holding Vivi's hand, but there was nothing he could do, and, yeah. The camel is with Nami, by the way, in case you're wondering. So the camel has some bonus points for spitting on our steroid spiky blue afro woman's eyes, which is enough for Nami to burn her with the heat tempo and all the other good shit. Unfortunately, the camel dies due to the woman being pissy and stabbing the camel in the throat. Nami's crying. She's asking for help. She's wanting someone to save her when, she realizes there is no one right now. And her resolve causes her haki to, grow ever so slightly to the point where, you know, she's actually able to get kinda, and I mean kinda, decent at predicting her opponent's moves, which was able to let her counter and hit that tornado tempo, that causes their opponent to spin around. She was able to get a better hold on her, which, shoots out her opponent into the wall. She does still get her foot stabbed by that one finger spike, but Nami is a trooper. And yeah, overall, Zoro's fight is a lot more different because he wasn't taking as many attacks, both because he was able to dodge and because he was actually able to parry them. Rather than the fight being more one-sided to, Mr. One, it was, pretty even. Zoro's haki was not always with him, and that was kind of like the moments where he would get cut. However, it would be one of these moments where, Bones says, he's going to kill Zoro, kill everyone on his crew. There's nothing he can do. Even if they're learning haki, it doesn't matter. He's weak. This pushes Zoro back to have a mindscape. No, not mindscape, but, in his mind, pushes Zoro back in his mind to when he's a child, making a promise to his friend, saying that, they're going to get strong. Then time skipping to when he's asking his teacher for his friend's sword, saying that he's going to get so strong that his name will be heard in heaven for her, which, epic as shit, and it hurt me so bad to see that. Damn it, Zoro. You're not supposed to make me feel. Anyway, we're going back with it is, the next moment is Izuku explaining haki is, his desire, his will. He has to make it a fuel. Something that he can call his own that no one else has. This is what makes his haki more important. This is what will define your haki more. Is your goal, your desire. You must make it an actual reality. And your only goal is your own hands, your own power. So, bring it forth. As he does his, one sword style lion song. However, the difference is when he did the lion song, at the very last instance, the blade turned black, completely cutting through Mr. One. As, he admits defeat, falls, and rather than saying, would you try and cut diamonds? It's just like, it's blade. It's so sharp. It will even cut diamonds. Rather than, will you cut diamonds? It will even cut diamonds. Just for the sake of, simplicity. As Zoro, rather than saying thanking to number one for proving that he can get stronger, he's just grabbing his blade. As he thanks his friend, his teacher, and then Izuku, for his resolve, his strength. He kind of still walks away kind of fucked up, but not as bad. Bon Clay still gets his shit smacked by, Sanji, and the key difference is Sanji being able to dodge Bon Clay's kicks a lot more easier, allowed him to get more counters in. So Bon Clay goes down a lot more faster, and Sanji wasn't actually able to, get as much injured. He was even able to beat Bon Clay before he busted out, that I'm gonna turn myself into a chick so you can't hit me bullshit. That was really bullshit though. Like, Sanji, it's a guy. They're like, but she looks like Nomi. He is a guy. Do not be fooled. So, yeah. Anyway, that defeat, and he realizes that if it wasn't for that kid Izuku, like, he probably would have gotten hit a lot more often and not land as many blows. And that his blows probably wouldn't be as heavy. Which annoys him a little bit, but, in his head, he's just like, I'm gonna just make him a really spicy, delicious dish and, you know, call it good. He's just thinking, rather than apologize, I'm gonna make him really good food, call it even. It works with Luffy. So yeah, you know, now when it comes to the fight between Luffy and Crocodile, there were no two previous fights to, help him, figure out what Crocodile's weakness is. Instead, you know, Izuku already told him, he's made out of sand. Sand is really hard to, fall apart so easily when it's wet. And then there's also armament hockey. So yeah, eventually it does end with, Crocodile standing at the castle. Him and Robin are the only two left from Borak's work, as, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, Chopper, Nami, even Vivi and Izuku stand right before him. He's pissed off. He's just like, how dare they? As, Izuku sees that, Nami's hurt, so, he's instantly going to check on her. Chopper saying he's got this, but, meh. So, Izuku saying, I'll hold her while you bandaged her. And, bridal style. Nami's not going to argue. She likes being held by Izuku. She's kind of already gotten used to it. So, Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy, they go storm the palace. Vivi, she's in charge of, go finding her father. All that good shit. And, Crocodile's able to make it pretty even one-on-one fight when, he tells, the others that, there's a bomb in the city that I will blow up at this time. Haha, I'm safe. Get shit on. As, they're thinking, fuck. All rushing, leaving, panicking while they go search. And, Luffy and Crocodile have their fight. Now, Crocodile thinking he would have an advantage because, all he heard about Luffy is he's an idiot. So when Luffy hits this man with haki, he was pissed. He's just like, damn it, I didn't think someone so stupid could get something so quick. As, all of a sudden I don't want to call it a peacock blade, but, Vivi's weird peacock keychain blade things that, she spins on her fingers, it goes whizzing past and, it nicks Crocodile's face. And he's just like, that weapon. So, Vivi, she's spinning her weapons around. Izuku's just there next to her. As, Crocodile turns to sand, thinking, he'll just crush Vivi. Unfortunately for this man, Izuku is right there. And, using Ryo, causes a massive haki shockwave palm strike to, the body of sand, which, causes Crocodile to cough up blood, reforming himself. So, he's holding his side. This palm strike ended up breaking two of his ribs. He's pissed off as, Luffy is saying there's a bomb in the city and they have to go find it. He'll handle this. Robin then says, to Izuku that that those two need to handle things. And that if Vivi wants to protect her precious father, then, this is where he is, but Robin won't, let Izuku get in Crocodile's way. This is, Robin trying to do the clutch thing on Izuku so he can't move, but Izuku's literally, doing crunches to the maximum effort, to keep his body from, being snapped in half. Ab day for days. His abs are like burning, like with flame, like he feels like shit hurts. Robin's just trying to like break this boy's back. Izuku won't have that. Eventually he's able to, relax himself and flip back with the motion that she would have done, which, Robin was not expecting. So Deku backflips her clutch as, he sprints forward. Robin is just, how do I beat this kid? He's rushing towards me. And, then she remembers something that, like, he was very calm about, an enemy fighting, but, how much of his testosterone is, suppressed. So, as Izuku's rushing, Robin thinking fast, thinking survival, she flashes him. Izuku stops, confused, nose is bleeding. Robin yells clutch, and Izuku's back just cracks. Of course, this. At the very same instant, his back snaps, his legs go upwards. Moment like that is, Robin was able to see, Deku stiff as a board, and she was just like, "Oh my!" As she was just like, I gotta thank my girls. That's all she's thinking. Just like, damn, just like puberty's a bitch. Because, she decides, to grab Izuku. She's taking him to where the poneglyph is, which, Crocodile is able to escape the fight with Luffy by putting sand in his eyes, so he can track down Robin, figure out where she went, and, as soon as, he sees that Robin still has Izuku alive, he's pissed, saying, do you not get it? He's the biggest threat of all. He's the one who's been teaching them this. Robin saying it's okay, they don't have to, shit like that. Crocodile, he stabs her like normal, and he's saying she's worthless. As, this is when Izuku gets up. He's still kind of fucked up on his back. So, he's not moving the fastest, but, Crocodile sees him and, Crocodile goes, he swings down his hook hand. Izuku just raises one hand, catches the hook, breaks it. As, Crocodile's eyes widen, as, Izuku comes in, all of his remaining, energy that he has left into a single fist, punching Crocodile in the exact same place that he was favoring last time, in the side of the ribs that are already broken. This hit kind of pushes Deku's fist into the rib cage, breaking the other ones, causing, bones to start piercing his organs. He coughs up blood, pukes it up, actually, as Izuku shoots his ass into a fucking stone pillar. He falls down, and he's just crawling over towards Robin, as, she's bleeding out. She's thinking he's going to end her. No, he gets there. Luffy shows up. Izuku points to where, he hit Crocodile's, the rubble starts to move because Crocodile's getting up. So Luffy goes, he still sends Crocodile from underneath the stone floor up into the sky with that massive Gatling rain. That shit was fucking legit shit. Oh my god, bro. So many punches, all of them infused with Haki. Because, he sees Izuku's hurt. He thinks it was Crocodile. He doesn't know it was Robin. But yeah, Izuku, he still crawls over to Robin. He's able to, adjust himself ever so slightly. His back is still kind of fucked up. Not broken, but fucked up. As, he starts tending to Robin's wounds. Robin is confused on what he's doing, and Deku's just saying, Crocodile is, a piece of shit. And, even when Robin had, the drop on him, when she caught him with, with a move that he really, really cannot predict, it's not something, he would be predicting, but, she could have killed him. She didn't. And, Deku's not one to ignore this type of, kindness. So, he places his hand over her stomach, putting pressure. He pulls out some bandages. He's trying to treat her wounds. Eventually he does just pass out. And when he passes out, he falls onto Nico's chest. Out. Robin, she's just like, oh my. Izuku, one hand just on her stomach, the other hand is by his side. His face is just buried in her breasts. Because, she's just like, I can barely move myself. I feel like he did this on purpose. Because, she smiles. Because, he feels, Like, she feels how softly he's breathing, like he's actually asleep. So she's not gonna be mad at him too much. She just places a hand on his head. She caresses him. She's just like, huh, this kid. As she remembers back to when she first met him, as I will look at this later. And, she remembers that he never really was there to hurt or to kill. You know, he was kind and he was gentle and, he seems different from other people. You know, even after she attacked him, he still helped her. So, she just holds on to Izuku, thinking that, if they die here, they die here because, the earth is starting to fall down. This is where, our faithful little ducky friend, you know, Vivi's duck comes in, grabs Deku and saves Robin. He mostly was trying to save Deku, but because, they were kind of like a package deal at the moment, you know, they get on. Chopper, he was there helping. So yeah, you know, Chopper tends to Robin's injury because she's also out cold. Blood loss. As Izuku, he wakes up in like a hammock, and Robin is in the hammock next to him. Well, beneath him. As she's still asleep. As Deku, he's confused. This is when, someone walks in, and it is, Nami. Nami, she looks kind of sad. As, oh, she realizes Izuku's awake, she calls everyone, and, everyone shows up. Now, they are still at, the Royal Guard's kingdom. It's just, they put hammocks in rather than beds, because a lot of death was still a thing. They still stopped the bomb and everything, but, there was still a lot of death. So, yeah, while, Vivi didn't have a lot of allies, this is something that changes. Because, the Marines are finally showing up. They show up a day late. But, yeah. When they hear the capture of Crocodile and, it's the Straw Hats and all this other shit, this is where one of the things that change is very, very different. And that is the news coup. One of the reporters who do the thing, he was able to, catch, Nami and ask her, like, about all this, because, he wanted to know. So, Nami lets it slip that, they were trained by Izuku. Guess he doesn't have a last name on this one. Nah, he would still go by Izuku Midoriya, honestly. So yeah, they say, Izuku Midoriya is the one who trained them. And, the government knows that that's Jinbei's student. They're confused, they're pissed, and, this causes a rift with the government. They start questioning and asking Jinbei, why was your student here? Jinbei's just like, he's not an official pirate. He never joined my crew, so I just taught him how to fight. What he does is what he does. They're like, whatever. Jinbei in reality is just like, what have you done, my boy? Worried. As eventually they hear Alabaster, Crocodile taking down, all this good noise. This causes Jinbei to, ask, Neptune and them, can they send, like, aid relief to, Princess Nefertari, since that's where Izuku's is. They agree, and, they go off with, some ways to, help, which, it's kind of weird, but yeah, eventually the Marines retract because they could never find the Straw Hats. In reality, and here's the fun part, even Garp came to try and use his hockey to sense out where everyone's at. However, due to the fact that, they all picked up one key thing about Izuku, and that is the hiding of their hockey. Rather than, sensing it and causing it to flare out, he, he never realized, but, they picked up the ability to suppress their presence just like him. So, yeah, they were all hidden, they never found Nico Robin. Nico Robin still would join the Straw Hats like normal. Vivi kind of annoyed by it, but, she realizes that Nico Robin was a child of circumstances too. And, they're not too mad, but Vivi, when she realizes Izuku has to leave, she pulls him in. They have a heart-to-heart conversation, and Deku's confused. Like, why is Vivi so sad? Like, that Izuku rather than more than the Straw Hats are leaving. Vivi, she's just like, she's blushing, she's squirming, she doesn't know how to say it, so, she just grabs Deku, pulls him in, she gives him a passionate kiss. Deku, at first his eyes just widen, and then, he kind of accepts the kiss, they deepen it. Princess Vivi and Izuku, a photo that they didn't even realize was taken, was there. As, that's another thing that was spread, is, Princess Vivi, her connections with Izuku Midoriya. Well, Izuku, and, they don't know Izuku Midoriya is part of the Straw Hat crew. They just think Izuku Midoriya is his own thing. Princess Nefertari of, Vivi Nefertari with the student of the first son of the sea, Izuku Midoriya. They're hyping up shit, causing rumors, like, are these two together? Find out later. It is kind of strange in the sense that, Sanji the one who has to catch them every single goddamn time, my guys. And I mean this. Whenever, Izuku's about to, get some real action, as long as Sanji is within range, he will have some way of mucking it up for him. This, of course, is, yelling, and, everyone rushes in, they're asking, what happened? Vivi has to embarrassingly admit that, she likes Izuku. Nami, she's just like, ooh, I kind of know that feeling. But, Nami also glances at Zoro. That's right, Nami Zoro. Deal with it. Now, in case you're wondering, what about Robin? There's another guy who I've already set her up with, and y'all should have already paid attention. Sorry for Robin Zoro shippers, or Nami Sanji shippers, or Nami Luffy shippers. None of that's happening. So, yeah. Vivi gives Izuku his kiss. Eventually the world knows that, the Princess Nefertari, had rewarded the savior of Alabaster, which that's why Izuku is there. He's considered as one of, separate from, Izuku, not separate from Izuku, separate from the Straw Hats. There's the Straw Hats, there's Princess Nefertari, and then there's Izuku Midoriya, the son of the first, the student of Jinbei, son of the first son of the sea. Their epitaphs get confusing sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But no, eventually it is, Izuku Midoriya, a hero, a villain, a pirate. Will he join the Marines? Is he a revolutionary army? Who knows? This also causes, a bounty of no more than, I'ma say, since we're very early One Piece, 90,000 berry. Just under 100,000. But yeah, Izuku already has his bounty. Jinbei was kind of pissed, but, he has to realize Izuku kind of did his own thing. He does get a letter from Izuku that kind of explains, all that really happened. And, Vivi also helps fill in the blanks for Jinbei. Because, he's done some diplomacy visits with the Nefertari Kingdom and, the Kingdom of Neptune and all that good jazz. Vivi herself was eager to, provide, aid or be very thankful to, to them. As, soon the Alabaster Kingdom was known as the territory of, I was going to say Izuku Midoriya, but then I'm like, nah. The government still sides with them, actually. they still have the government protection. They're confused though because they have to. They almost threw in Vivi in prison because of the whole Izuku thing, but you know, it was revealed that through Izuku, that him and Vivi, they aren't together because he had to make a statement. And in case you're wondering who was the statement towards, it was to one of the Marines who Izuku and the Straw Hats would run into, as they're saying we can't wait to capture him. Once they have him, they can actually go to Princess Nefertari and say we have your lover. And this pissed off Izuku. He really sunk in the boat when he didn't have to, but he did. So he tells the Marine officer before he throws him back into the sea, the Princess Nefertari and Izuku Midoriya, they're not connected. He took down, and this is what they're changing the whole story to with Izuku Midoriya, saying that, he took down Crocodile for the sake of power. No. He couldn't have done it without the help of the Straw Hats. From this point on, he is one of the Straw Hats. So, he throws the Marine into the water. So, Luffy smiles at him. Robin, she's just like, well then, that's an interesting thing. As they continue on, and they do meet Blackbeard and Bellamy and all that good noise with, the Sky Island, the Island of Dreams, and all that good noise. But the key difference is when, they were going to go attack Zoro and Luffy is Izuku. Before they can even do anything, Izuku gave them a stare. Told him not to fuck with us, and a small wave of pressure was released. Yes, Deku had unknowingly released Conqueror's Haki, which, surprised everyone. None of them were passed out, but they all did get intimidated and backed away, leaving them the fuck alone. Blackbeard, however, he was excited. He wanted to know more about them, and, that still happens as normal. But the key difference is when Blackbeard leaves, Izuku realizes who he was, and he made a fist. As, Luffy asks him, what's wrong? And he's saying, that's Blackbeard. Luffy's eyes wide, and he's saying, then we gotta... No. This isn't our fight. They begrudgingly leave as, even if they could contact Ace, by the time, he gets word that, oh, he was here, Blackbeard will already be going because, he's leaving already. So, they're still going to the Sky Islands with NL and all that good noise. And that will be covered in the next What If because, holy shite. 1 hour, 53 minutes. And here you go. What if Deku was in One Piece? A special one that I wanted to release in November, no lie, but shit happens. Because shit happens, I couldn't do this. But now, I'm good with this story. And in my next What If, when I cover, the Lightning Country, in a sense, or, Sky Islands, I will be, much more heavily with, our ships. So, Nami, Zoro are going to have a bit more defined moments in this. And so is, Robin Deku. That's right, Robin Deku ship. And, yeah. Actually, let me just get into the Robin Deku ship more easier. And more of the Nami Zoro ship before I end this. So, they're sailing, they're going off, and they make it into the White Sea and all this good noise. As this is when they're saying they had to split up, divide and conquer. Nami wraps her arms around Zoro. And Zoro's confused. Nami's just like, you get lost easy. And as the navigator, I feel like, maybe you'd be best. Zoro's kind of confused, but he agrees. He's just like, fuck it, why not? As, this is when Robin, she's just saying since Izuku saved her, she feels the most comfortable around him. No offense to any of them, but, just, if they're in a group, they're fine, but if it's like, she has to pick a partner, she would want Izuku. Sanji's butthurt, but, Usopp's just saying, don't worry, buddy, I gotcha. Chopper and Luffy, they go off on their own. They're all exploring, gathering ingredients, medicines for food, all this good shit. And, Zoro, when he's about to get lost, Nami would, direct him, and he'd get annoyed by this. He even says, like, why him? Because, Nami, she's blushing, she's making it like, wow, you're really dumb. Zoro's just like, what? And, she's just like, she looks at Zoro, and, she's just like, she, makes a move, kisses Zoro. Zoro's confused, but, you don't fight it. Nami pulls away, saying, she's attracted to Zoro. And, she's blushing because she's saying, this is so fucked up. You're making me say it, but, Nami's wants to know Zoro. Nami's confused. She sees Zoro, and, they had their slight moments in Alabaster, with one fighting the partner of the other. But, there was that, bridge moment. Nami, she's not sure why Zoro, but, we all know it's because I'm compulsing her to do it for the sake of the story. But no, Nami does, realize that Zoro, his ambitions, like where it stems from, a childhood promise. But Zoro realizes that once he let out, he's just like, don't you dare. And, Nami's just like, don't worry. She's just like, it's really sweet. Zoro, he's blushing and grumbly about it, but, he's fine as long as Nami doesn't tell anyone. And Nami's just saying, oh, no. Now that I have that, you're totally gonna have to pay me to keep quiet. And Zoro's just like, I'm gonna have to cut you down. Nami, she's just saying the payment is a kiss a day. And Zoro's just like, wait, what? Nami's just saying, a kiss on, like, the lips every morning and every night. A good morning kiss and a good morning and a good night kiss. That's pretty much all she wants. So, she winks at Zoro. Because, they can name their first child together after his friend. And, Zoro, he's just like, Nami, she's just giggling, and she's saying, come on, dragging him, and Zoro's just like, I don't know what to do. I want to cut her down now. Because, he's conflicted. But, it is what it is. Robin and Deku, they're alone. They're walking and exploring. Robin, she's in awe of all, like, the things around her. And, Deku, he just keeps on looking at Robin. Granted, part of him thinks, she might screw him over again. Betray them. But, once he's sensing Robin, how innocent her aura is, when she's just exploring and admiring nature, Deku, he doesn't realize that, he's staring. But, Robin does pick up on this, and, she does kind of, like, scurry away from Deku, and Deku has to chase her. When he catches up, or when he thinks he lost her, Robin appears out of nowhere, pins him towards the tree, as, she's saying, is there something wrong? You've been staring at me all this time. She then proceeds to, caress his face, as, she's saying, or maybe it's something else. Do you not trust me, Izuku? As, she places a finger on his lips and saying, hush, not yet. Izuku's confused and like, what do you mean not yet? You just asked me a question. I was about to answer the question. And the answer is I don't know if I trust you yet. Because, Robin, she just goes to Izuku's ear. As, she blows in it. Izuku gets more flustered. As, Robin starts giggling. And, she's just saying he's so cute. And, it's one of the things that made her want to, follow Izuku. Even if it's, through someone else. If he's following Luffy, then, she'll follow Luffy with him. if, Izuku decided to, go somewhere else, then she would have gone with Izuku. Izuku's confused on saying why, but, Robin says, she, hurt him, and, rather than, leave her for dead, Izuku still wanted to protect her, heal her, fix her up. He was showing genuine emotions towards her to someone who should have been his enemy, and she didn't really get it. So she was confused, and she sees how Izuku is naturally, and it reminded her of her friend, and she got more emotional. You know, Eventually Izuku does find out her backstory. They exchange. The two have a silent moment that the two just lock eyes. His emerald meets her. His emerald eyes meet her sapphire ones. The two get closer and closer. Their lips are just ever so distant apart. As out of nowhere, there's a tree falling down, and the two have. Izuku just grabs Robin, and make sure that they don't get hit, and Robin, she's blushing because Izuku don't know, but his hand is on her peaches, her bottom, her butt. Deku just quickly grabs, goes. One hand is just cheeked. So yeah, Robin's just like, my. From one extreme to another. Izuku's confused until, he feels the softness and he's just like, I'm, Robin, she doesn't even waste a second more. She pulls in Deku and she gives him a tongue kiss. Deku's eyes just widen as he accepts the kiss. And then he's just like, this feels weirdly familiar. When Vivi kissed him and then, something interrupted. And, this time, Robin, she just pulls away from Izuku. Izuku's just, wait, what? Robin, she's, smiling. And she's saying, you're a really good kisser. As Deku's just like, I mean, we didn't have to stop. And, Robin's just like, it's almost time for them to get back to camp. And Deku's just like, okay. That is fair. That is very fair. And, during this time, Sanji and Usopp have discovered their dials. Luffy's already captured a few birds and, fishes. Chopper, he's collected more herbal medicines and stuff like that. So, yeah. Zoro and Nami didn't really get lost, but rather they found some treasure that, Nami was all up for. So, yeah. They meet back. They all have their cool interactions. Zoro is more shy when Nami is getting them one-on-one. But, he has no choice but to deal with it. Eventually he does tell Luffy that, he and Nami, might do a thing. But, he will still serve Luffy. Luffy, he just calls Nami and saying, he doesn't really care if they date. They can fuck around. But, his journey to be the Pirate King, is this gonna, fuck it up? And, they're saying, nah. And Nami's saying, even if, they did break up, she'd still be on his crew, and Zoro would still be on his crew. They both nod. Luffy's just saying, okay. As, they've each have their own tie to Luffy. Yeah, Luffy defeated Arlong for, Nami, and, Zoro was saved by Luffy, but, they each have their own definitions. Zoro still wants to be the greatest swordsman in the world, and Nami wants to draw a world map. Luffy just wants to be the king of the pirates. If anything, I feel like Zoro, on his journey to be the world's best swordsman, will travel a lot, and that's what would help Nami get exploring with her world map more than, Luffy's aimless, I'm the king of the pirates. Which, that could be forever, but Zoro's, there'd be a lot of years and a lot of training, so there'd be a lot of exploring. a lot of testing his metal against other swordsmen. So I feel like maybe the relationship with Nami and Zoro would be easier, opposed to, Sanji Nami or, Zoro Robin. But in this one, I'm thinking, Robin with Deku would be fine. I just wanted, Vivi to taste Deku first because, we were teased that Vivi was going to be the newest crew member, and then it was reality Robin. I kind of did that, Oh, so the ship is Deku Vivi. Nah, the ship is Deku Robin. I played y'all motherfuckers. This is going to be uploading now. Well, something like that. Deuces. I guess expect part 3 of what if Deku got isekai'd into Naruto's world, because yo, I thought of some fun shit on that one that I'm excited for. So I might just put that on earlier than my other ones. But since I also have no schedule and no like order of how I put these out, and yet again, I don't know how many times I'll say this, but I'll say this as much as times as I need to. I don't get paid for any of this shit. I'm using my own data to upload this, so this is my own personal data. Yes, I have unlimited, but still, if I didn't have unlimited, do you think I'd be uploading like 2-hour clips? God, no. I'd barely be trying to do this without Wi-Fi. But no, my Wi-Fi is ass sometimes, so data, whatever you want to say. Yeah. Anyway, this fun one will be continuation. And another thing I don't get is, what the fuck makes y'all think I'm not going to continue what ifs that already have out that aren't specials? If they're not under the filler, like, what if playlist, then, it's not a filler one and it'll be continued until the very end. And yeah, Frame Deku, by the way, it's almost towards its end, since it's mostly a marriage thing, but there's still a few things I want to like wrap up nicely, so that's not coming out just yet. My heart out to the people in Nashville for that bombing, by the way. I did not know about that until like after 12, and that's kind of fucked up. But RIP to them. Fuck the bomber. Police supposedly said he died in the explosion, but I don't know if he did, or if they did. But regardless, Nashville people, my condolences. If y'all lost family members, I'm sorry. This year really, really did not need that shit. Like, we did not need that bombing. That is on some bullshit. Anyway, yeah. RIP. I hope y'all stay safe. Stay warm. Help me figure out how to make money without selling my soul to ads. Or, maybe sponsorships every now and then. Verve, Crunchyroll. I watch anime a lot. If y'all want to, like, say, give me that link for that 30-day shit, I'm more than free to do that for y'all. I mean, I like Coke and Pepsi, but like Dr. Pepper, yo, like, legit shit, since a kid, bro, I've loved your soda. So if y'all want to sponsor me and send me some Dr. Pepper merch, I will gladly wear that shit. So yeah. Anyway, I hope y'all had a good one. And I'm off.